What is going on, Dab Alert Nation? Today is like Christmas morning because I'm going to be taking in a bunch of junk from the game room and trading it in for valuable items. If you live in the continental United States, you have a store like this in your area. Basically, they specialize in reselling retro, vintage, collectible items at retail, and they always take trade in. Now, most people bitch constantly about the trade in values. However, you can use it to your advantage. You can trade in kind of garbage that you wouldn't be able to sell on eBay or that you might not want in your collection. And you can trade in a bunch of those items, let them handle it, let them sell it, and you can buy one or two valuable items, again, to put in the collection or to pop on eBay if you are a reseller. So today I'm going to be bringing in a pile of junk. I will let Bookmans sell it for me, and I'll be buying one or two valuable games. The goal here is to get a valuable game to do a giveaway at the Game On Expo. It's a convention me and Fanta will be at this week in Mesa, Arizona. So if you're in the area, it'd be really cool if you guys stop by. We'll be doing a panel, and I thought it'd be cool to maybe do some sort of a giveaway, maybe a little contest or a raffle or something. Just something fun for the people that are in attendance that are dumb enough to come listen to me and Fanta talk for an hour. So I think that'd be cool to have something to provide to the fans. So I'm going to be trading in a bunch of junk. I'll show you guys in the car right now, and then we'll get some footage in Bookmans and see what I can get. Talking really quick about what they accept for trade-in. Video games, DVDs, obviously books. The whole store is kind of centered around books. Nowadays, musical instruments, toys, anything collectible essentially they take. I've even seen like nautical instruments, decor that you'd put at the house. But you'd be smart to stick to any sort of media, like I said, games, books, DVDs, CDs. Now, DVDs and Blu-rays are kind of a risk, at least for me, because they'll only take two or three on their shelves of one movie, and if they have that, they're not going to take it and trade in. We'll see what they take from me and what they don't. That being said, Blu-rays are also a really good thing to get because a lot of times you can get them for $1.99 or $2.99 at Goodwill or Salvation Army. That trade-in value will then get you, $8 to $10 because they're going to ask ridiculous prices like $20. And the rule of thumb is whatever Bookmans is going to sell it for, or whatever your resale store is going to sell it for, you can expect 50% of that in trade-in credit. I know it sounds bad, but keep in mind they are selling for max retail. So like I said, if a game's going for $15, they'll hand you $7.50 trade-in, which a lot of times I would rather take that than deal with eBay. So let's take a look at the car, see what we got, and we'll head in. So here we have the load for today. They are not going to take these, but I'm going to try anyway. Pick these up for $1 at a garage sale. If they don't take them, I'll trade them or ship them for super cheap if someone collects these old like floppy disk games from like 1922. Two of them here. I picked them up for $1. I'm going to try to trade them in again, but I've already tried and they didn't take them. A bunch of assorted games that have just been sitting on the bookshelf for months, kind of outside of the $5 game collection. Board games, which were awesome a few years ago, but trying to play board games with a group of friends at 30 years old it's becoming just a pipe dream. Everyone has a million kids and jobs and a bunch of nonsense going on. So I've given up on that dream. A nightmare to sell on eBay. Shipping obviously is a factor. Missing pieces a factor. Take it right into Bookmans and let them deal with it. I know Game of Thrones has everything because that's been mine since brand new. I don't know anything about the Dungeons and Dragons though. And then kind of losing control with the Xbox controllers here. Have a bunch of them in the house and just had a basket full of them, so I'm going to get these traded in. Could probably sell them for some money on eBay, but I'm not going to bother, especially with the slightly bigger shipping size compared to video games. And then some N64 peripherals, the transfer pack for Game Boy, and then a couple Rumble packs there. We'll see if they take those, but they've just kind of been sitting on the $5 game collection. And I'd rather get one valuable game for all this junk. So let's go in and see what they have in store. This is pretty cool. I would keep this, but it came from like that weird smoking reseller guy, and I don't want to get like lung cancer from the secondhand smoke. So I'm gonna trade that in. Let's head in there and see what they got. So they're taking in my stuff right now, doing a little appraisal process. Usually like 15-20 minutes. And this is a good time, A, to look at what you want to buy, and then B, to kind of scout the store and look at price tags on things. As I said, you get 50% off trade-in credit, like what they're selling it for typically. So if you see DVDs and stuff going for 20 bucks, you know you should be picking that stuff up when you're out of Goodwill or whatever, because they're going to be giving you $10 trade-in credit. They're already taking in 4K movies. They're already taking in Switch games. I'll show you guys some of the inventory right now, but it's good to do your own little research just to see kind of what you can expect to get trade-in wise. So looking at the Blu-rays, I noticed a trend. A lot of the kid stuff going for like 20 bucks, which means that's $10 trade-in. I see kids movies all day at garage sales and at Goodwill. They might be the most common type of Blu-rays because kids, for some reason, want to buy media to watch it, 100,000 times, whereas adults you should just rent. So pick those up. Cars, Pixar, Disney. $20 here, like I said, means A, it probably goes for some money on eBay, and B, you're getting $10 trade-in. And I'm seeing Blu-rays, like I said, $2-3 at Goodwill, and definitely cheaper than that at garage sales. So keep an eye for those Disney, those kids movies, even like Scooby-Doo, like garbage TV direct to DVD movies. We're going for like $17-18 here, whereas adult films like The Dark Knight was one I looked at, only going for like $6.50. So that's $3 trade-in. That's definitely not going to be worth buying, regardless of where you get it. So keep an eye out for those kids movies for trade-in. Super uncommon Atlas game. 75 is actually not a bad price on that at all. 19 Mutant Ninja Turtles on Genesis, 50 bucks. Interesting to see Switch games already. Pokken Tournament going for borderline retail. So I'll show you guys really quick what they did not take, and then when I get home I'll show you guys what I got and what store credit I got. Surprisingly, Mario Galaxy not taken. Obviously, condition, he said, was the factor. Same thing with these games. Just picked all these up at thrift stores, which is too bad. I picked them up for the purpose of trading them in. He's not going to take them because of conditioning. I can probably come back with a different employee and see if I get lucky. Leave a comment right now if you have any interest in these two games. I will negotiate 100%. I don't want them in the collection. They're CD-ROM based games. Are not CD-ROM, they're floppy disk based games. I can't even do anything with them. So if you collect this sort of stuff from the 80s, let me know. I'd love to trade pretty much anything, or I can ship them off to you for incredibly cheap. Let me know in the comment section. I'll see you guys at the house. I'll show you what I got right now. Alright, what is going on, Dab Alert Nation? Let's get into the finds. Let's get into the income for seemingly a carload of not junk, but stuff that's kind of hard to sell, and maybe not the most desirable things. Like I said, I have a million of those Xbox controllers. Those got me like $8 a piece. Bookman's is gonna put them up for 16 bucks. So all of those, that's great trade-in credit for me. Got $104 today for, I'd say, 75% of the stuff I brought in. Again, could have been a lot better, but they didn't take a lot of those games from Goodwill recently due to condition. The guy says if the disc isn't great and shiny, they're not going to take it. They do have a buffing machine, but I understand from a sales perspective they need to be able to sell stuff easily. They don't want customers kind of second guessing it. So it could have been a lot more. Probably could have gotten into the 150s, maybe 160s today. I'm happy with the 104. I'll show you guys what I got for that cash. Starting off, this is going to be the giveaway at Game On Expo. And I got it because it is probably my favorite game of all time. If not, definitely in the top 3. and that is Zombies Ate My Neighbors on Super Nintendo. Uh, Really, really fun look at American culture, kind of through the eyes of a different country, so we kind of get the dumb stereotypes and stuff. A lot like the game Earthbound, where we kind of see what the Japanese people like interpret the United States day-to-day life to look like, even though it's kind of silly. This game does that a lot. I mean, cheerleaders are running around in their cheerleading outfits. Fat, hairy guys are out barbecuing on their lawn. Kids are jumping on the trampolines. A lot of fun, a fun look at American culture in the 90s. If not accurate, at least it's what other countries assumed we look like. And the weapons and stuff in this game are just hysterical. Squirt guns, soda cans, all the way up to like holy water and crosses and all sorts of stuff. And last but not least, the lore in it. A lot of fun, kind of 50s and 60s horror movies. Werewolves, vampires, of course zombies, and a lot of stuff that we saw. We even have like a Jason-like character that's chasing you through the maze. A giant baby. Some of it kind of does turn into schlock. Fantastic soundtrack, fantastic gameplay, really fun co-op, and like I said, just the atmosphere and just the lore is amazing. So I'm going to be giving that away at Game On Expo. Bookman's had it for $40. It's probably worth about 30, maybe 35 on eBay. 40 is not too far off for me. This game they did underprice a bit in my opinion, and I was very excited to see it. Kind of the holy grail, one of them, of PS2 hunting, and that is Samurai Western, an Atlas game that usually carries value in itself. And this is one of the top, I'll call it top 10 most valuable PS2 games, along with, you know, Haunting Grounds, a couple of those survival horror games, that Red Rose or whatever it's called. But this game I've never seen. I've seen some of those other games a bunch of times. And when it comes to kind of cashing out at Bookman's, if you're looking for something just to resell, I'm always trying to grab the mispriced, expensive game, which I've done a bunch of times. As I mentioned, Haunting Ground, I've picked that up before. This game, I've seen sold listings recently for over $100, so it's $75 in this condition. We see it's complete. Instruction manual is great, shiny still even. Disc is perfect, but of course this is probably a buff job. But as far as like photos and stuff, this thing it's completely 100% immaculate. No scratches, no defects. So a big PS2 title. I'll probably throw it on the bookshelf for a couple days, but I'm gonna probably end up selling it. $100 is an expensive game, of course. I might play it some with my PS2 back down here, but a cool find from a game hunting perspective. It's one I can kind of check off the bucket list as far as like expensive, hyper expensive games like Earthbound and stuff like that. This is kind of one of the top tier for PS2. So that is it. Hope it's a cool lesson for you guys. I know a lot of people are going to say, well, we don't have Bookman's where we live. It's only in Arizona. If you live in a city in the United States of America, you have a business with this same exact model. They simply sell media at retail prices, and we can use that to our advantage. There's no shipping. There's no nonsense. You can bring in books, magazines, music, games, DVDs, Blu-rays, any of that stuff, and they'll give you trade-in credit. So for those of you that go out to garage sales and stuff like me, you can find big boxes of stuff for a couple bucks and simply hand it to the people at Bookman's, and they'll give you, you know, $40, $50, $60 trade-in. You can use that to booster your video game collection, or you can use that simply to get one or two items that are really easy to resell instead of trying to resell 100 small items that are going to be a pain. It's up to what you guys do. As I said earlier, me and Fans are going to be at the Game On Expo, Mesa, Arizona, Friday night. That's this coming Friday at 9 p.m. I'll be giving away Zombies Ate My Neighbors. I'll be in my Zombies Ate My Neighbors t-shirt for no reason at all. Please stop by and watch our panel if you guys are going to be there. Again, 9 p.m. We're going to talk about retro gaming, kind of the success we've had and kind of the struggles we've had recently. I'm definitely going to be talking about this method because this is how I've continued to get kind of what I want out of the retro gaming market that has kind of taken a real difficult turn the last 2 years. Just buy junk that people don't care about and go cash out and buy the stuff that I do care about. People are always going to be trading in stuff to Bookman's. And you can see why. Like I said, those controllers and stuff is great. Would I trade in a $100 game to Bookman's for $50? Absolutely not. So leave a thumbs up on the video if you guys like this. I promise you we'll get back to game hunting when the temperatures drop. Today it's 105 degrees out with humidity, so I thought about going garage selling. With that temperature, it's simply an unrealistic expectation for me to go out. But I'm going to hit the Goodwills and I'm going to hit garage sales again come October. And I'm going to start doing, at least, I'm going to try to do weekly videos. I'm going to talk more about stories and advice and things that have happened to me on Craigslist, garage sales. I'm going to tell stories. Fanta has told stories on Fantavision, and that channel is doing amazing. 15K views a day right now, and he just simply tells stories about work. So I kind of want to do that. I want to share some of my knowledge. Goodwill is the probably best resource in the history of humankind as far as learning trades, learning how to do things, learning expertise. It's all free. It's all right there. You can learn how to do pretty much anything. You can learn a foreign language. You can learn how to sell. You can learn how to buy. It's almost better than college if you don't waste your time and spend time watching people that are more knowledgeable than you on a topic. You learn that topic at a cost of absolutely nothing. They might get some ad revenue. You might have to watch a 30-second ad, but that's much better than paying to go to school or something. So YouTube is a great resource, both for people explaining their knowledge and, more importantly, for people that are watching the videos. You guys learn a ton for free. I do it all day. Anytime I have free time, I'm trying to watch educational stuff to learn things instead of just wasting time. So appreciate you guys, appreciate for watching, and hopefully I'll see some of you guys at the Game On Expo. I'll be back in another couple days with another video showing the Game On Expo. I'll show the vendors and what we got, and a lot of celebrities going to be there. So I'll be back with that in a few days. Take care, guys. Have a good rest of your week.